do? It's your boy DOA. Back with another episode of Putting It Together. We back on LeBron James today, man. Some new information came out, plus my wheels been turning since that last video where I asked who chose him as the chosen one. It looked like it was ordained by the basketball elites. You know what I'm saying? Now that we see that NBA lottery, this shit rigged like the daggone Kentucky lottery. You know what I'm saying? It's rigged like a fucking slot machine in Vegas. So, I know a lot of y'all saying that Dallas Mavericks won that lottery, the NBA draft lottery. And that's very interesting, seeing as how they just donated Luka Doncic to the Lakers in a trade that a lot of people said didn't make sense. Why would the Dallas Mavericks trade the player that took them to the NBA Finals and was only 25 years old? Why would they trade him to the Lakers? So we're going to kind of get into it, man. We're going to get into it outside of the obvious that Dallas Mavericks only had a 1.8% chance of winning that NBA lottery. But they ended up winning and now potentially can get a generational talent in Cooper Flag from Duke. But what I wanted to point out was how they'll move heaven and earth for LeBron James. That's number one. And how their ratings was down. The NBA's ratings was down like 20% before that Luka Doncic trade occurred. After the Luka Doncic trade occurred, they was able to rebound 18% to having their ratings only be down by 2%. And the most watched game was the LA Lakers versus the Dallas Mavericks. So you can see how the trade itself generated a lot of traffic and traction for the NBA. That's why I believe Adam Silver was a party to this rigging, because it stood to benefit him in some way. But for a lot of y'all, I don't know if y'all seen that back in 2018, LeBron was saying he dreamt of playing with Luka Doncic. And they want you to believe, well, we'll play that, let you see that.
But okay, switch to the Lakers. LeBron has dreamed about playing with Luka Doncic for years. This is something he never thought, but he badly wanted. When Luka was deciding where he was going to go within Nike, LeBron pressed him very hard to come to his shoe brand within Nike. He ended up going with the Jordan brand, but he was trying to recruit him then. He saw a vision of the two of them playing together. A couple of years ago, Kyrie Irving tried to get LeBron to figure out a way to get to Dallas. And LeBron said, no, Kyrie, come to LA. But, the reason that Kyrie wanted to think to see if that was possible when LeBron was a free agent was because he knew that the Luka-LeBron connection was there. So I'd have to think about it and see them play together. But while LeBron is losing a teammate that he's won a championship with, and I'm sure when he was brought with this, he was in shock. I haven't spoken to him or heard from him, but I have to assume that he will have a lot of excitement because he has dreamed of this, and I'm sure he thought it was never going to happen in his career.
Actually, would I like to play with Kevin Durant? Ask me right now.
Would you like to play with Kevin
Absolutely.
Durant?
Ask me if I like to play with Jimmy Butler.
Would you like to play with Jimmy
Ask me
Butler?
about Kyrie Irving, Giannis. Ask me about Embiid, Ben Simmons. Go ahead, all of them. Luka Doncic. Ask me right now. Come on, guys. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. These are great players. Absolutely. I would love to play with a lot of great players. That's just who I am. So people get caught up in bunches. Sometimes when they wish they can control what you say, and they can't control me at all. And I play by the rules.
So yeah, they want you to believe that the trade talks with the Lakers and Dallas started just in January of 2025, but I got word, I done heard from a bird on the curb that they started back in 2018 when LeBron was saying he dreamt of playing with Luka. So we was talking in the last video because I was talking about Carmelo and how they took two of his key players and donated them to LeBron. Back when, you know, Carmelo was trying to get his team together and stuff. So they donated two of his key players to LeBron over at Cleveland. Well, we all know that LeBron James left Cleveland in 2010, right? So LeBron James went to Miami from Cleveland. From 2011 to 2014, Cleveland Cavaliers got 3 number 1 picks out the lottery. So in 2011, they got Kyrie Irving. 2013 and 2014, they got the number 1 pick in the draft. Only to be separated by 2012, the Hornets got the number 1 pick. And let me tell you what happened in 2011, I believe, is when the Hornets got rid of Chris Paul and sent him to LA. So it looked like they payoff for sending Chris Paul to the Clippers was to get the number 1 pick, which they took Anthony Davis. Charlotte Hornets took Anthony Davis in that pick. But yeah, it looked like the NBA was paying off Cleveland for sending LeBron James to Miami. So they sent him, they got 3 number 1 picks in those 4 years. And then I believe, when did LeBron come back? I think that was 2014 or 15 when LeBron returned to Cleveland. So he let them, and that seemed like a rigging in itself. Like he watched them get 3 number 1 picks, and then he returns to the team. You see what I'm saying? After they done got these number 1 picks and got them established, and he could see who's on the team and who he want to keep and who he want to get rid of. Then they sent him back to a team that just got 3 number 1 picks in the last 4 years. So that in itself was interesting. And we already know Kyrie Irving pretty much gifted LeBron that championship in Cleveland because LeBron was crashing out. So we can see that little chess move paid off. Then, of course, like I was saying in the last video, they took 2 of those key players from the New York Knicks within that time too. I think that was 2014 when they got Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith. So they pretty much stacked and set that team up for LeBron, right? Well, then we look and see how, and it's interesting that LeBron used that 2011 first pick and Kyrie Irving to win him a ship. Then he used the 2012 number 1 pick because he ended up getting the New Orleans Pelicans to send him Anthony Davis. So they sent him Anthony Davis in 2018, which helped facilitate him a championship, a bubble championship, but a championship nonetheless. And in 2019, the Pelicans got the number 1 pick as well. So they sent LeBron, and they got them a number 1 pick, which they got Zion Williamson. You know what I'm saying? So he had them send them AD in exchange for a number 1 pick. Then he had Cleveland send him to Miami in exchange for 3 number ones in 4 years, which was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It can't get no clearer than that. They gonna call it a conspiracy, but man, your eyes don't deceive you. You can just look and see what happened. He gets AD, and they got the number 1 pick in Zion Williamson. Now he says in 2018 he dreamed of playing with Luka, and finally they send him to him. And what happens to Dallas? Everybody got Dallas burnt at the stake, but they end up getting the number 1 pick in exchange. So you can see, man, like I said, this shit look orchestrated. It looks very orchestrated when you look back at it. And I believe, LeBron and himself and all of the publicity that surrounds him, I believe they built that up because the NBA's ratings was probably suffering back in before 2003. With Jordan leaving the league, I know I stopped watching it for real. I wasn't the biggest Kobe Bryant fan back then. I still ain't no huge Kobe Bryant fan, but I do got a lot of respect for him. I had more respect for him post-retirement than I ever did when he was playing, just partially because he was on the Lakers and I ain't no Lakers fan. I did think he was real good. I hated for any team that I was rooting for to have to play against him, but I didn't really like him like I ended up kind of liking him before he passed. But I do know that, those ratings was down when Jordan left. And I think they tried to help him recover by putting so much publicity around LeBron James. Of course, he did some things to live up to the hype in some ways, but it's even interesting that in 2003, Cleveland had the number 1 pick because that was pretty much his hometown. I think we all was kind of blinded by the light because we all kind of took a liking to LeBron James and nobody really questioned that lottery back then and how would Cleveland just by chance happen to get the number 1 pick when they got a prospect that's from Akron is the number 1 prospect in the country at that time. So I believe even that was orchestrated. I believe a lot of the NBA's moves has been orchestrated. Even probably, I think I've seen a lot of things even surrounding Jordan that probably was orchestrated. But I can't take nothing away from the eye test of what we seen with Jordan and the competitor that he was. But I do believe a lot of things around him was probably orchestrated as well. And before I get out of here, man, just a prediction. I'm going to tell y'all, I feel like this NBA Finals is going to be the New York Knicks versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. And it's partially because of all of the Villanova players that's involved in those 2 teams. We know the point guard from New York, Brunson, is from Villanova, Josh Hart's from Villanova, and DiVincenzo from Minnesota's teams from Villanova. They all won a championship in college. But I find it interesting that the new Pope is also from Villanova. So me and my chick, we've been talking about it, and we both feel like, it's probably going to be New York versus Minnesota, Villanova on Villanova crime, which probably the New York Knicks are going to win just by the amount of Villanova players that they got on their team in comparison. But I guess we'll see how that pans out, see if it was as easily predictable as I feel like it is. And let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. That 144th pick in the NFL draft being Shedeur, I feel like, man, they got big plans for Shedeur because that's a magic number, the 144. So, even the NFL's orchestrated, maybe to a lesser degree than the NBA, but it's some orchestration behind it as well. You got the Jesuits pulling strings behind all these leagues for real. And yeah, I might make another video for Shador so we can get into it. But I just wanted to come back, double back on that NBA lottery, that not so random lottery that they running. Shit's crazy, man. They got that shit rigged up, probably magnets and some more shit. But I just wanted to point that out because we just was talking about that as far as Carmelo and him getting the short end of the stick. Now you see how they pay off these teams to feed players in a certain direction. How teams get paid off for their services. But as always, it's a pleasure having y'all tune in. Peace and love and light, wisdom and insight. It's your boy Doe putting it together to the next episode. Peace.